So we've amended our national curricula. Starting from February this year, every single student in Kazakhstan has to take AI courses, not just any courses, very practical, tailored courses, which teaches how to use AI properly. Not just theory, how algorithms work, large language models, generative AI, but proper certificate-based training, how to train your dragon.
Hello everyone, welcome to Wise Conversations. It's my pleasure to host His Excellency Minister Sayasat Nurbek, who leads the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of Kazakhstan. Of course, it's a pleasure. So, Minister Sayasat, I would like to start this conversation by building up on your own trajectory. Your experience spans psychology, international law, geopolitics, public policy, edtech, and national skills development programs. When you look at higher education from the lens of your multidisciplinary experience, how has that shaped your vision about the higher ed state in Kazakhstan?
Well, there's more multi and interdisciplinary approach in higher education than ever before. Why? A lot of experts now in the academic community agree that you really need to you can only solve problems when you have different views, when you have different vantage points, when you have different approaches and you combine different tools. There was this very famous interview by Steve Jobs when he talks about, trying to get as different people in a room with different backgrounds to solve a problem. And great universities learned about multidisciplinary approach many years ago. And the reason why they have quotas for international students and diversity on campuses is because when you have more homogeneous groups, there's less debates, there's less dispute, there's less clash of opinions, because people come from more or less same background. They speak same language, they have same values, more or less. But when you have international students, when you have diversity, that's when things get interesting, right? So because you have to have people from Africa, different problems, different backgrounds, different language, culture, and interesting things happen. They learn that academic performance, networking, social experience are becoming richer, are becoming more diverse, and in fact, people, students, graduates of universities that have that diversity, they exposed to different realities as well, and they're provoked intellectually. So there are better experiences and better academic and research performance in this kind of organizations. Yeah. So now it's now de facto becoming a standard. You need to have interdisciplinary, you need to mix people of different backgrounds. So all these great schools, you take great American research universities, MIT, Stanford, Illinois, Illinois Institute of Technology. Everyone is that, and let me just give a couple of examples. Everyone is now trying to mix different backgrounds, majors, departments, schools to create that big experience. Another thing, AI and digital is now adding value, right? So you take a famous AI expert, Demis Hassabis, he's founder of Google DeepMind. He just was awarded a Nobel Prize in medicine because of his obsession with protein structures. And so he's not a biotechnology or biomedical expert by training. I mean, he's a AI and computer science and math background, but his approach to protein structures helped medical people to get the best results. So now it's really a combination of different fields, different toolkits, and different frameworks that can deliver best results.
Definitely. Your Excellency, building up on that point, I could definitely see how AI connects a multitude, honestly, of fields together. So, from your experience at with the Ministry of Higher Education, can you provide an example of a program or an initiative that has been implemented in one of the higher ed institutions in Kazakhstan that provide that experience for students to learn a multitude of sciences using AI?
No. So we thought really hard, how do we harness power of AI? How do we make sure AI is delivering? How do we make sure AI is adding value, not only to big tech companies or governments, but also to small and medium enterprises, to ordinary citizens? So we looked around, and we were inspired by a government program in Finland called Elements of AI. So government of Finland, as early as 2017, there's some really smart people in Finland, said, okay, we're going to teach AI to as many adult people as possible. And they launched this program in partnership with Google. So we said, heck, let's go full 9 yards. Let's start training AI, very practical way, to all students in Kazakhstan. So we're very proud that Kazakhstan is one of the first nations in the world to make AI compulsory for all college level students. So we've amended our national curricula. Starting from February this year, every single student in Kazakhstan has to take AI courses, not just any courses, very practical, tailored courses, which teaches how to use AI properly. Not just theory, how algorithms work, large language models, generative AI, but proper certificate-based training.
Yeah.
So in this 6 months, we were able to train almost 80% of all our undergraduate students. So out of 650,000 students, over almost 600,000 already received this specific training. We didn't stop there. The main goal of this program is to, one, train all our students how to use AI, two, teach them some AI entrepreneurship. So we have designed a course in partnership with Paul Kim, a very famous professor at Stanford University, now left Stanford, it's called AI entrepreneurship. So it helps to identify any student, any faculty member, how to identify business niches where AI can create or add value. It's a very interesting program. So we didn't stop there on the stage 3, stage 4. Every student will have some computing power and some seed funding so he can start his own project. So that's where things get interesting again. So you have, let's say, a history student, a social sciences student, but he can use AI, his new skills in AI, and he can have some computing power from either of 2 national supercomputers or 4 smaller supercomputers at 4 of our national universities to train an algorithm to, for example, decipher old manuscripts, or look at the similarities of over 600,000 artifacts collected during the last archaeological expeditions, and then they're digitized now. So there's this huge data set of archaeological findings. So you can use algorithm to do whatever you want. So basically, we call this program How to Train Your Dragon. Anybody can train their own dragon, and you remember that famous cartoon animation. But the trick is to find your dragon, train your dragon, and teach him things that are needed by you, that are useful to you, to your major, to your problem. So I think we found a very interesting formula to deploy nationwide, massive training program where hundreds of thousands of students are trained annually every year. And the really great product of this program were over 200 AI agents already designed and trained by our students. So it's now taking a very good momentum. We have almost 400 AI agents to be delivered by end of this year. So basically, we're creating this large funnel out of our higher education system, which would train hundreds of thousands of students every year, and would deliver hundreds of thousands of startups and projects, and would deliver at least thousand and a half good startups we could pitch to all these venture capital and big investment companies.
Interesting. That is absolutely impressive. And building on that, this year's WISE Summit's theme is keeping human values at the heart of education. So my question is, it is amazing that more than 80% of Kazakhstani students have trained a dragon of their own. How do we make sure that whatever they train goes in line with human values at the heart of their technologies?
Yes. It is a big issue now, and I think what happened with social media, and a good friend of mine, he actually pointed on that. We never had proper training at school level. Nobody trained massively how to use social media. What are the ethics? What's the journalism principles and journalism ethics? Because in case of mass media, in case of journalists, you have certain guiding principles. I mean, you know that all journalists are trained what is ethics, journalism ethics. There are some regulations, and you get punished if you, abuse your power, or you could be sued. But in case of massive social media platforms, it's becoming a huge problem.
Especially with children, you can't really sue children for it.
No, you can't do teenagers. I mean, well, what do you do? And then the freedom of speech and everything kicks in. And what happened, social media were created with this really great intention of providing freedom of speech and exchange of ideas, crushing the boundaries. Or what happened in reality, there's this great expression, a path to hell, path to paradise is paved with good intentions, right? Or to hell is paved with good intentions. There's this good saying, the path to hell is paved with good intentions, right? But what happened in reality, when this power, because everybody now has the power to deliver any message to as many people as possible, right? No restrictions, no ethics. It's just your emotional, subjective take and vantage point on certain events that occur. But this power gives you an amplifier. It amplifies the message to millions and millions of people and audiences. So the worst we had in human nature, the hatred, lies, bigotry, is now amplified as well, right? And we have this skewed, distorted vision of reality. You look at the social media, oh my God, and the reality is very different. The fake news. Now think of AI. Very soon, as it happened with any technology, AI will get cheaper. Very fast. It will happen really fast. And it will be available to millions and millions of people, maybe billions. And think the power with no ethics. And just fake news, that fake identities, propaganda. It's just the beginning. The things we witnessed this year, next year will be much worse. Propaganda, will be disseminated, and it will be very visible. It will be, it's becoming much, the quality of these videos, fake videos and fake animations, AI generated videos is becoming much, it's just very much closer to reality. With time, algorithms will create this very powerful storytelling, which will be deceitful. And, Noah Harari, that famous Jewish professor of history, in one of his interviews, he said one of the biggest threats from AI is that it will have power and potential to create fake narratives, not only for individuals, but of whole countries, for whole ethnic groups. So we think it's in case of Kazakhstan, the only way not to fully eliminate this threat, but some diminish or to have it, have a check on it, is by providing this massive training. And AI ethics is big part of our training program. Cybersecurity, digital hygiene, because AI will impose much greater risks on personal security. Think of, oh, I forgot my password, very good. It can fake your parents. It can fake so many things.
Voice, your fingerprints.
So cybersecurity and cybercrime, I believe, will just skyrocket because people in their mass, they're not prepared. They're not ready for this kind of technology.
Yeah. So it is imperative that we train the children, we educate
You
them.
start with schools. So you take countries without training mandatory, like a compulsory policy. China, it's 8 hours of annual mandatory training. They start as early as elementary schools. Emirates, they start in kindergartens with 12-hour of mandatory training. America, United States, Estonia, many countries now introduce AI courses from as early as possible, early childhood, kindergartens, because now it will be part of our lives. And it's really interesting to see that we used to talk to humans, coexist with humans, and it was always human-to-human interaction. Human, individual on group level, group on individual level. Now there's a new equation.
There's an intermediary between.
No, it's not an intermediary, it's an agent. For the very first time in history of humankind, we have created not just a tool, because any tool cannot replicate itself, cannot learn and evolve. Even the most sophisticated tools we see around, they cannot evolve, they have limited functions, right? So the camera, the mobile phones, microphone, they're limited. They can't learn, they can't evolve. But now we have algorithms that can evolve, that can grow, that can become different from their original functionality. So this is different. This is not an intermediary. This is not a tool. We're talking about agents. We're talking about new age of very different interactions we're going to have.
Yeah. On that note, thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time. It is fascinating to hear your opinion and your trajectory for the future. Thank you so much for joining us at Wise Conversations.
Thank you.